Welcome back to the Morning Blend. I don't have to tell you that women have a lot on their plates, from taking care of kids to caring for an aging parent. There are a lot of transitions in life that put a lot of stress on our finances.
Today we've got advice from a pro on how to plan for all the different stages of life and help your money last through it all. Kara Kaiser is the managing director of BMO Wealth Management, and she is here with how to best plan for a lifetime of changes and transitions. Right, Kara?
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Always great to be here.
Great to see you.
It's so true. I think all of that is true. We've got a lot on our plates and there's a lot of transitions in life that we go through. So how do we make sure that the dollars that we have can last us through those ups and downs?
Right. So we'll talk maybe today about 4 different ways that women can really best navigate through life's transitions. And the first one is to treat all of your transitions like a circle, not like a straight line.
All right. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
So we often think about transitions as almost mile markers as we go down the road of life. And as we go along, we encounter life events, right? And that might change our route. So that might be maybe launching a career, finding a partner, getting married, maybe a promotion at work, maybe a divorce, maybe becoming widowed. Maybe it's giving care for an aging adult. Maybe it's even launching your children into adulthood. Lots of different life events cause us to change our route.
And I think one of the big ones, and one that really makes people nervous about their money, is retirement.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
But life is not linear. We don't always have the luxury of working through one life transition before we move on to the next.
Well, I like what you said, though, about the promotion or caring for a sick parent, because I think those are 2 things a lot of people who are watching can relate to as well.
That's right. And I mean, you might have, maybe you get a big promotion at work right when you need to go care for an aging adult. So it's important to understand that life is messy, and we can't always predict the change and when it's going to happen. So we have to learn to manage through those circular movements of a transition.
And I think that's a great point. It's sort of that, I feel like your parents always said the hope for the best or plan for the not so great or for the worst.
Absolutely. And we know there's life events that we can't plan for no matter what we do. And hopefully we don't have too many hardships in our life. But it's really always best to prepare so that you're not caught off guard as transitions come your way. And in fact, when your life is the most stable is the best time to become change ready.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so how do you do that?
So you certainly build your support, right? Your family, your friends, your coworkers, because those are the people you're going to lean on during difficult times. And I always say, get your finances in order. So pay down your debt, build your savings so that you're financially stable. And that way, when you encounter a transition, you can better focus on the emotional and practical aspects of it without worrying about money.
I like that. And the third tactic you say is to understand the transitions from all different angles.
That's right. There's lots of, think about the emotional aspects of it, right? I mean, talk to a friend or a professional if you need some help, you've got some feelings, or you're feeling kind of emotional. Family, rarely do life transitions only impact one person. Understand the impact it's having on your family members, and maybe even at different times. There's the practical aspect of it. We might feel kind of out of control when these things happen, right? So oftentimes it's best to break it into pieces, because then you'll feel more of a sense of control and accomplishment as you move through them. And finally, it's kind of always about finances as well, right? Are you financially prepared for a transition? If you find yourself in a position where you need to take a leave of absence from work to be a caregiver, are you in a position to do that?
And would you then dip into retirement savings?
That's an option if you have it. Not the most ideal, but sometimes that's what people have left. Best to prepare a little bit more in advance.
Yeah.
And you don't want to wait, like you said, you don't want to be planning for change. You don't want to wait until the end to have some of those things in place.
That's
don't
right.
shy away from those really important conversations.
We know that people avoid them, right? It's natural to avoid them, but we also know it's not the best strategy. So have those conversations early and in advance. We know that it's better having them in advance. You'll be more clear-headed and you'll be in a better position to talk about it when you're not in the heat of the moment. And also, when you're doing that, create a plan, right? I mean, if you think about the caregiver of an adult, maybe you assign a different role to each sibling. Then you've got a plan in place, and then maybe one sibling handles the financial aspects of the transition and one handles the medical aspects. Right? And then
That's
right?
a good point.
And then check in as time goes on, because rarely are these conversations one and done, right? Check in, make sure people are on the same page, and you also need to adapt and tweak as time goes on to make sure what's working and what's not working.
Well, I like what you wrote here, which is very true, is that the only change, the only constant in life is change. You know, we've heard that before, and it's so true. But a lot of times those changes are just so difficult.
They are difficult. You're
not easy.
absolutely right. So it's really important that we can be best prepared to navigate these transitions with confidence, because when you have confidence, you'll be best in a position to make thoughtful decisions about what's most important for you and your family.
Yeah.
And it's important to ask questions too, to have an expert working with you, someone on your side that you can ask questions
Absolutely.
as you go along and have those important conversations.
Absolutely. I always recommend working with an expert. Certainly my colleagues at BMO Wealth Management are in a great position to do that. And I think you've got an email address for me that if anybody would like to reach out, be more than happy to give some additional
Yeah, there it is. It's Kay Kaiser at .morningblend@bmo.com, and you can email Kara directly. She'll get back to you, go through some questions with you. But I think this is great because I think we as women, we have a lot on our plates, and when those life transitions come, we take it all on our shoulders oftentimes. So it's good to have some great suggestions. Thanks so much, Kara.
Thanks for having
Kara.
me.
Appreciate it.